the red shelf. I took the job at the Reykjavik bookshop to get away from everything. It wasn't a grand decision. I didn't flee a ruined relationship or burn out at some high-stakes career. I just wanted quiet, something slow, something that let me breathe without checking a clock every 10 minutes. When I saw the posting, Assistant Archivist Wanted, I applied the same day and got a call the next morning. The shop sat at the end of a narrow street in the old district, close to the harbor. It had 3 floors, 2 open to the public, and a third below street level for storage and records. That basement became my home. It smelled like leather and dust, the kind of place where the light never felt quite right, where your voice echoed in strange ways. I loved it. Most of my job was sorting, reshelving, cataloging older materials that hadn't been digitized yet. The store had been around for nearly a century, and its collection included everything from rare Icelandic poetry to books with no listed authors and titles you couldn't pronounce. And then there was the red shelf. It sat in the farthest corner of the basement, tall, with peeling crimson paint and an uneven back that leaned slightly toward the wall. It wasn't part of the catalog. No barcodes, no spine labels, no tracking numbers. At first, I thought it was decorative. The books on it were strange, worn bindings, faded ink, no covers with art, no publisher logos. Most were in Icelandic, a few in Latin, some in languages I didn't even recognize. No one ever checked them out. No one ever dusted them. But they were always there. One morning, I noticed a gap. A single book missing from the top row. I checked the log. Nothing borrowed. No staff notes. I didn't think much of it. People took things without asking all the time. The next morning, the book was back. Same spot. Same slight tilt. As if it had never moved. That happened again. And again. I started watching more carefully. I made little pencil marks on the shelves to track which books disappeared. They always returned by morning, sometimes earlier. Once, I watched it happen. It was late, maybe just after 10 p.m. I was finishing paperwork and glanced over at the red shelf. One book was missing, an old one, bound in cracked gray leather. I looked away for maybe 10 seconds. When I turned back, the book was there. No sound, no movement, just there. I should have left it alone, but I didn't. The next day, I decided to organize it. I brought gloves, a notepad, a pen. I thought I'd finally get some kind of record of what was on the shelf. Nothing dramatic, just a small act of control over something that didn't seem to follow the rules. I pulled the first book, heavy, no title. Inside, the pages were filled with handwritten text, tight, looping script in dark ink. I couldn't read it. The letters bent in unnatural ways, but the feeling it gave me wasn't confusion. It was discomfort. Like the words didn't want to be looked at. I flipped to the middle of the book. One page had a drawing. A house with no doors. Only windows. And all the windows were black. The kind of black that makes you look twice to be sure it's even ink. I put the book down. Tried the next. That one was worse. The handwriting changed halfway through. From tight and controlled to frantic, like someone had kept writing even as they bled. The last dozen pages were soaked through. brownish stains like water or something thicker. I shelved it and stepped back. The room felt smaller, the air thinner, and something shifted, not in the room, in me. That night, I dreamed of the shelf, not the books, the shelf itself. It grew, taller, wider, towering over me until the ceiling disappeared. The red paint pulsed like it was breathing, and from the books, a soft sound rose, not whispering, not pages turning, rustling, like something moved inside the bindings. Trapped. I woke up sweating, my ears ringing. I didn't go into work the next day. When I returned, the shelf had changed. Slightly. The books were in a different order. One lay open, its pages flat and damp. I hadn't touched it. I closed it gently, reshelved it. But when I turned away, I heard it fall again. Behind me. Open. The lights flickered. I took the book home. I know how that sounds. I shouldn't have. I told myself I'd bring it back the next day. I just needed time to look, to understand. I didn't sleep that night. I opened the book on my desk. The pages had shifted again. New handwriting. It looked recent, familiar. It was mine. Words I hadn't written. Sentences that described moments I hadn't lived yet. A paragraph described me getting up, walking to the kitchen, pouring a glass of water. I got up, walked to the kitchen, poured a glass of water. The words appeared as I read them. I dropped the book. The next morning, it was gone. I checked my bag, my apartment. Nothing. Back at the shop, it was on the shelf. Same spot. Closed. Waiting. But when I looked closer, the spine had changed. My name was on it, not handwritten, printed. I haven't touched the shelf since, but the dreams haven't stopped. The shelf appears everywhere now, in alleyways, reflected in puddles, in elevator mirrors, always just standing there, silent, full. Last week, a customer borrowed a book from the regular fiction section. The next morning, it was on the red shelf. They say the shelf isn't part of the inventory, but I think that's wrong. I think it's all inventory. Books that don't want to leave. Stories that write themselves. And people who open the wrong one don't close it again.